Okay, guys, we're back on part 2. Well, this is episode 2. I'm gonna do these as episodes because if I say part 1, part 2, I'm gonna get episode 2. I cried a bit, bro, after I got done that first video because I'm just like, bro, I'm really like talking and shit, and finding my voice. To get a realize that you just talk to yourself all the time and never really talk outwardly. Like, I was always that kid who had to fear like speaking out of term or saying what I really thought I really felt. So I kind of like stifled that. Like, I was a very internal kid. I was very much like internal. Oh, I feel like I should introduce, just in case I feel like this is like a new video entry. This is EgítCreationism. I'm Egít, or Egypt, or EgítLatis, or Egít Levavaje. However you want to call me, it don't matter. The girl with the locks, who gives a damn? We're really working on an assignment while I talk too. I really don't feel like doing this assignment, honestly. I've been very exhausted. My body's been doing like a lot of changing and releasing, and so my creativity kind of gets put on a pause. And it's a creative class that I'm working on. We're doing a project, creative thinking through arts and design, and I'm sorry guys, hold on. I'm losing my, that's another thing. I have to do, like when I create, I be wanting to create for myself. I don't be wanting to create all the time for something outside of myself. And people be acting like that's a problem. Like, me and my professor kind of be like having our different views about it, because he's like, oh, you know, when you put out art, it's to have a conversation with the world. And I don't disagree with that, but I don't really care to make art for other people in the sense that it's for them. It's to be a mirror. If my art resonates with you, then it resonates with you. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. And I have no control over that. Your life experience may not align with my life experiences. And that's okay. But honestly, I'm tired of deadlines. I'm tired of systems. I am tired. As a kid who's gone to a military school, who's gone to a music school, who's gone to college, who's literally lived by the systems, I feel constrained and confined. And it's like this past summer, I literally got to experience what it would be like to just live by the beat of my own symphony. And it honestly was such a happy time for me. Like, I learned how to surf. I got to stay up when I wanted. I got to go to bed when I wanted. I didn't have an alarm blare me up, and I still got things done. That's really boosting me. People think because you want a life of ease or because you want to live a simpler life means you don't want to get shit done. I want to get shit done if it brings value to my life, not because a deadline. I'm looking for validation through a deadline. Again, as a person who was perfectionist, who couldn't even handle getting a 98 on a fucking test. I used to literally like tweak out on teachers, bro. Like, it was bad. I don't know why I'm taking all these out. I think I'm looking for a certain color. We're gonna go with orange. I have to write the feedback that I got for my project 1 for my creative arts and design class, which the feedback that I got, my professor was like, the project was on like an idea or a topic, and then you have to translate that topic into different modes. So I decided to do perception of reality. And of course, people didn't fully understand what I meant by my project. They took it at surface value. What I did was I took pictures of things that I see, and then I drew what I saw based off of my mind's interpretation. And simultaneously, I recorded myself drawing that thing. For example, I took a picture of a tree. I then drew a picture of that scenery of a tree. Now, as you can see, the scenery is not exact to what trees and shit look like. But that was the point. I've taken a drawing class. I know how to draw. I know how to draw still lifes and realism. But that wasn't the point. The point was to show how reality is abstract and fluid, and it constantly changes. Sometimes you might miss a certain detail in your own perception of reality. Sometimes you oversee a certain aspect. And sometimes you just want to play with the idea of reality. That's the thing about creation, is you literally manipulating and playing with reality based off your perception and understanding. And that's what I was trying to show. And in the video is a close-up of me, kind of like what we're doing right now. And my professor asked me, his critique was, why not get it of the environment? And I tried to explain to him that wasn't the purpose. And he tried to give that he's, into film and videography. And I'm like, I'm not curating reality. I'm trying to show reality. That reality is not fixed. It's not perfect. You might get bad camera angles. You might get a close-up that's a little awkward, because that's real life. I'm not here to give a perfect scenery. And then there was another person who asked me, well, why didn't I record other people, interacting? Because they noticed that people were watching me. And I said, that wasn't the point. I'm not looking for how other people are perceiving me in reality. I am witnessing myself in reality, interacting with my environment. You can see me drawing. You can see me. It's even posted on my channel. It's like a minute video of me drawing outside. And that was for that project. So now I have to write the feedback and write my opinions on that feedback. And just like I told you guys, I don't agree with everything. And that's okay. Because there was one person in my class who understood exactly what I was doing. And they said that it was a breath of fresh air to not theorize perception of reality, but to embody it. Where the fuck is my red? I don't want to dump all of this out, but it's looking... I'm going to change the color. We're just going to change the color. You see, sometimes instead of fighting with life... I can't spell. We just go with the flow. Making this bitch color-coded if I want it. Why not? It's my paper. But in relation to reality, I'm learning that healing is what helps raise consciousness. I heal through creativity. Everybody doesn't heal the same and all that thing, but what I have noticed that's common across humanity is that everybody says they heal when they create. Artists, musicians, they all say the same thing. They be like, once I made this album, I felt better. I released that. Once I made this, I became a different person. Once I started making Egítcreationism, I literally started to embody the person that I wanted to be all along. I wanted to be soft. I wanted to be sovereign. I wanted to be at peace. But in order to get to that peace, I literally had to face my shadows. I had to face my demons and greet them and love them and integrate them. And I can't wait till I start posting my poems, because I literally talk about, this is how I heal. I'm showing you guys how I healed and what healing was for life for me. Because it wasn't always pretty. There were tears, there was anger, there was pain, there was hurt. And even when you guys see me touching my body a lot, it's because I still feel those things. I have what's the word I'm looking for? Emotions that are still locked, that I'm releasing from my body. There's still pain physically in my body that I'm still releasing. I'm very nice to my body now in my life, because I'm like, this body got me here. This body carried all of that grief, all of that heartache, all of that pain, all of the physical trauma, all of the emotional trauma, all the psychological trauma. And I'm like, I have to give grace. I have to be kind and let her soften on her own and release to know that she's safe and she's okay. Because when I look at past photos and videos of myself, I'll be like, bro, you could really see that shit on me. Like, you can see the shit that I was carrying. And I'm like, I had to let that weight go. But the only way that I could let that weight go was transcribing that through art. Like the paintings that you see on my video, on my channel, the poems that I'll post eventually. Those were literally the steps that I took to healing. And even now, like, I don't want to use my creativity anymore to be the voice for my pain. I now want my creativity to be the voice for my healing, to be the voice for my joy. I'm very tired, guys. Like, I'm tired on a soul level, and I've been tired for a very, 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 very long time. I've been saying I'm tired since I can remember. Just crying myself to sleep saying I'm tired, waking up saying I'm tired. Now I'm tired for a completely different reason. I got energy, I got happiness, but bitch is still tired. Because now we're tired from all the things that we're releasing, letting go. And it's like, sometimes you really just gotta take it one day at a time, guys. Because if you don't, all you're doing is perpetuating the same things that you crawled out of hell for. And I'll be damned if I go back to any dark space that I ever was in before. I'm like, we really put a lot on ourselves as human beings. I don't want to be perfect. I don't want to be somebody I'm not. I don't want to work so goddamn hard to live and breathe, bro. All my life I've had to grind, work, and persevere, and be strong, and be tough, and don't show your emotions, don't cry, don't be sensitive, don't be this, don't be that. And I'm like, bro, I'm ooey gooey, mushy, and soft and squishy. And there's nothing wrong with that. And yes, life taught me how to have a backbone so I wouldn't be ran over, so I wouldn't be used and manipulated. And that's all fine and dandy. I don't shame the things that I've gone through or the lessons that I've grown through. It's just I don't want that shit no more. I want to learn normally. Go through challenges normally, not at the detriment that I feel like I'm going through a character development every fucking day. Where that shit literally felt like every day. When you know you're in survival mode when every day feel like a movie. And then you know you're at peace when it's boring as hell. You know how they be like, peace is boring? Peace is boring. Peace is boring, but that's a good thing. I'd rather it be quiet, silent, and nothing going on than for the shit that I used to be going through. It takes a lot for your nervous system to adjust to that. My nervous system still be on alert sometimes. I'm just learning to not let it be on alert all the time, that we're good. There's no more. There's no more. Sometimes I literally have to do stuff like this to anchor my body to know we're good. And it's like, excuse me, in this season of my life, I want to know what it's like to experience the good in life. I've experienced every type of version of the word. Suffering, misery, depletion, anger. God, I used to be so angry. And not even because I wanted to, just because I'm just like, bro, why does all this keep happening? And you get to a point where you really be like, is it me? Is it externally? And it's just like, it's both. Like I said, life is really just reflecting your internal. But sometimes it's like you have to get conscious of what's going on internally. If you're not conscious, then you'll just keep repeating the same shit, keep blaming everything outside of you. I'm like, I chose to be friends with certain people. I chose to have conversations, interact with people. And yes, as a teenager and as a child, you pick up habits from your environment, from your parents. And then you realize, you're like, damn. But what I learned that was so freeing was, it's not the end of the world. When you're a kid and you're a teen and you're going through all your relationship breakups and all that, bro, none of that shit matters. The truth of it, none of that shit matters, bro. Like, none of that shit Like, when I look back at the shit that I used to be in tears about, I'll be like, girl. And it's not to, like, throw shame on myself, but it's literally just be like, bro, people, none of that shit matters. Life literally still continues on. The shit that you boo-hooing and crying about, I promise you in 10 years flat, you're not going to give a fuck about none of that stuff. Unless you are literally, like, holding on to it. If you're purposely holding on to it and you won't let it go, that's literally you perpetuating the cycle. Because at the end of the day, that person has moved on. That person is doing whatever the fuck. That person, I guarantee tell you, it is highly unlikely that person is thinking about what they did to you. They probably don't even understand or give a fuck at the multitude of what they done to you. Because most people are operating unconsciously from wounds, their own trauma, their own perception of life and reality. You gotta take it upon yourself to be like, I'm gonna keep letting this thing hurt me, or I'm just gonna say fuck it and let it go. And I had to get a point to say fucking it and letting it go. Because I want to be happy. I care about my happiness and my well-being. Alright, guys. Hold on, guys. Give me a second. Let me write this down and pause this real quick. Okay, guys, I just got finished writing down my two critiques that I had for my project on perception and reality. I did note that the reason why my video wasn't perfect was because I was trying to show humanity is imperfect. My professor kept talking about film school and how he's like, if I would have done it. Sir, respectfully, you didn't do it. I wasn't here to curate a video for the masses. This was for a minuscule project for a classroom that I'm taking for only a couple months. And I was trying to showcase reality, not curation, not guys see me in a certain light, in a certain way. See me as I am right now. Messily in some shorts from a bad angle, because that's real. We all have those in our phones where we have the bad photos, we have the bad camera angles, we have the videos in our phone that don't make absolutely no sense. That is human. That is raw. That is real. I didn't want no damn filters. I didn't want to have this certain angle where I'm like, does this look right? Does this capture everything that I need? I didn't need that. I needed me drawing, because that was what was happening and that was what was real. I didn't need to care about the people in the background. I didn't really give a damn. I noticed the people that was walking by me, looking at me weird because I'm deciding to sit in the middle of the walkway to draw trees. That's none of my problem. That's them having to experience a girl doing that randomly. And I'm learning that's okay. I'm weird, I'm quirky, and I do shit that's unconventional because I can. Free will. Free will. I do things where most people are afraid to do them because they are afraid of judgment. I have spent too much of my life being afraid of what people are going to think of me, how people are going to receive me and perceive me, when I'm just like, I don't give a damn anymore. And I'm showing that. That's why I'm just like, take it how you take it. I know what I was doing with this. And sometimes when you're a little up there, not everybody's going to be able to catch your wavelength. Not everybody's gonna understand you, and that's, you gotta be okay with that. I have to be okay with that. Nobody's gonna understand you, but somebody will. Because there was one, like I said, there was one person who saw my project and was like, that gave me a breath of fresh air on how interesting it is to understand reality. Because you can understand reality in theory, but rarely do people understand in reality in embodiment. That is very wonky. Reality is very, very fluid. It's very, what's the pendulum? You see how this pen looks like it's wiggling? That's literally an example of how reality is an illusion, dog. None of this shit really matters. It's like a big ass game. You ever play GTA and you realize it's just like NPCs and random shit happening? Bro, literally GTA 6 is gonna come out. It's gonna be set in Florida. I can't wait till that game comes out, bro, because I know it's going to be exactly what I'm talking about. Florida is one of the known places where just any random shit is going on. And what happens in GTA? Any random shit be going on. We got war. We have random shit get blown up. We get niggas stealing stuff. We have mafia, cartels, bosses. All that shit really do be popping off. Reality is infinite, yo. Reality is infinite, dog. You can literally, it's all up here. It's all up here. When you learn how to control this, when you learn how to operate this is your biggest weapon, your biggest destruction, and your biggest creation, all in one sitting. Your body is just a vessel. Your body is just the operating system. But this mind right here, I read a book from a philosophy book called Immortality, which is basically all like the well-known philosophers' take on death. And it's like, if you get your limb chopped off, doesn't your mind still work? You still see everything in your room, right? You just turn your head. You ain't gotta turn your head. You just move your eyes across, and you're able to perceive the entirety of this room. You chop off your arm, you can still do that. But if you go into a coma, you can't do shit. You can't move your body. You can't perceive reality. You can't hear. You can't smell. You can't, none of that shit. Your consciousness, bro. We are just different realms of consciousness experiencing yourself. And then when this experience is like, alright, it's over, and this body just powers down, your consciousness doesn't just dissipate. It just goes back to whatever source energy is going on and just floats around till it's ready to inhabit the next body. And it just ping, 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 ping. That's why it was like, when they say the Great Awakening, and one person wakes up, then another person wakes up, and it just keeps sparking like a domino effect and planting seeds in other people. It's literally because we're all connected through a thread line of consciousness. All this shit is consciousness experiencing itself and materializing itself. When you're in lower states of vibration, think about what your reality, especially if you're somebody who came out on the other side like me. When you were in a lower state of consciousness, what was your environment looking like? And then when you came on the other side of higher consciousness, what did your environment look like? You started seeing the world differently. You started perceiving the world differently. You started to see more colors. You started to see more vibrancy in your life. When you were living in lower vibrations, what was there? Lower vibrational shit. Lower vibrational energies, people, places, things. Your internal state reflects your reality, bro. Your consciousness is literally just being reflected back to you. I notice more colors now. I notice more vibrancy. I purposely make sure I have color around me, because color is frequency too. Color is frequency. They hold a certain frequency. When I was living in lower states of vibration, everything felt more dull, more gray, arid, more darker color. And that's the environment that I was in. The environment that I was in was reflecting that, and it creates like a feedback loop until you start pushing back against that loop. And then it's like, when I be walking around Thailand, I'll be like, people just be like, oh, it's just Thailand. I'm like, my brain's not experiencing Thailand. It's just, oh, it's just a place. It's experiencing vibrancy. It's experiencing aliveness. It's experiencing nature. I didn't grow up around nature. I'm from Philly. If you know, you know, bro. It's nothing but city buildings and row homes. I didn't get to grow up in no fancy areas like Mount Airy. I didn't get to grow up in Northeast or none of that shit. And even Northeast has this, like, nah, niggas is from South. Niggas is from North. Niggas is from Southwest. And like, all those areas where you see such negativity, such bad vibes. I ain't heard not one shooting since I've been here. I still get alerts from citizens from back home about shit going on. And it's just like, it's just like your consciousness, the things that you listen to, the things that you absorb, digest, all of that. I get the aqua. All of that reflects back to you. Literally, me making these videos in itself is me experiencing my own consciousness outside of myself and my own internal state. Me talking is witnessing myself. hearing myself. And then releasing that is letting that energy circulate in the world. And touching whoever it needs to touch. And it's just like, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool, bruh. Because it's like, again, a seed gets planted in one person and it trickles. I had a seed planted in me. I was trying to fight against that seed. It's like, yes, we can have our own knowing, but sometimes we need a push from somebody who's already on that wavelength that you're trying to get to. Mine was my favorite YouTuber. Her name is Jadina. Dina Mo. I think that's her channel name. Or just Jadina. One of those. First time I listened to her video, I remember she kept popping up on my YouTube. And I'd never been at that time, I was never like into watching tarot. I wasn't into like, because I was very hell-bent on listening to my own internal compass. However, I wasn't listening to my internal compass. And it's something on one day that told me to just click on her video. And I clicked on her video and she literally spoke on like exactly what I was going through. And I was like, maybe I need to listen to this a little bit more. And then I started following the journey of believing in the unconscious and wanting, and then it's like everything started to like domino effect after that. I started listening to my intuition. I started following in my own direction. And it's like, people planting a seed doesn't mean you're following them or you're putting your faith in them. It's more so trying to find your own inner strength. And that's what I did. It's giving motivation. Humans need community. Humans need connectivity. When someone's supporting you, encouraging you, even when you don't know them, it helps go a long way. That's why I tell you, like, I don't give a damn if I don't know you. I love you. I see you. I understand, because I'm just a version of you. I'm a version of you somewhere that you're either trying to get to or you're trying to get out of to get to. Because I was like that. I was down in the dumps. I was sad. I was not knowing what I wanted to do with myself, not knowing who I was, who I wanted to be. I had an idea and I had a sense, but I was too afraid to take that leap because I was scared of what the world might say. Would the world judge me? Would the world be okay with this? And I had to not care. I had to not give a flying fuck, bro, because if I kept caring, if I kept looking for external validation, if I kept waiting for someone to give me permission, I was never going to move. I had to move. When I made the decision to start being more visible, more public, was because I had to let go of the fear of being seen, the fear of being perceived. Because at the end of the day, I'm like, if I love me, if I love who I am, I don't care how people take me. Because I spent so long caring. And now all I do is care about my well-being. So when I do give, because I do want to help people. All I've ever wanted to do was help people. But I learned how to help people by helping myself, by loving myself, by being my true self, by being in my authenticity. I want to give people permission to live in theirs, to be themselves, to be like, you know what? Maybe I should tell this person I love them. Maybe I should gain some distance from some family members. Maybe I should cut off that toxic ex. Maybe I should leave that friend group. Maybe I should pursue my dreams. Maybe I should stop being in my own way and telling myself that I can't do it or I shouldn't do that. Maybe I should just gamble and take a shot on me. When I started taking a shot on me, when I started believing in myself, when I started telling myself, yeah, no, I can. When I started changing my habits, changing my diet, changing the way that I think, I am not the same person that I was last month. I'm not the same person that I was last week. I'm not the same person that I damn sure ain't the same person I was a year ago. Child, y'all knew me in 2024, RIP, because I feel so bad. 2024 me was just, she wasn't a hot mess, she was just armored. She was armored beyond armor, bro. And that's because nobody was giving her what she needed. And she had yet to start giving herself what she needed. And now that I am, baby, it's oversized t-shirts whenever we feel like it. If we want to get dressed up and dolled up, we do. If we want to let our hair wolf out, we do. If we want to just lay in bed and be a bum, we do. If we want to take walks in nature, we do. I struggle to do shit on time now because I like going with the flow. I like easing my way into life, because who the hell put all these systems up to say that I couldn't? Who am I listening to? What imaginary figure am I listening to? Nothing happens when I live the way that I live. If anything, I'm shown that it's okay to do that. People accept you more when you're more authentic. You want real connections? Be your real self. You're wondering why you can't find love? It's because you're not being yourself. You're not loving your quirks. You're not loving your weird. We all weird, bruh. I ain't even gonna hold you. Anybody that tries to say that they're normal is literally just masking. They're just masking, and they're trying to be palatable, and they're trying to be what they consider socially acceptable. But you ever notice in movies? I love movies because movies will really tell it to your face. You know those movies where the really elite people be at the dinner table and they be talking with their high intellect jargon and all that shit. I'm highly intelligent. I still will curse. I still will talk my shit. I still will use improper grammar and shit, because intellect is not based off if you know how to formulate a sentence properly. It's knowing about what wisdom lies in your heart, what wisdom lies in your body. Stop posturing. Stop performing intelligence because you read a couple books, because you saw a couple museums. Intellect is free. Intellect is anything. Just because you don't know one thing don't mean another person don't know this thing. We are all meant to share our intellect. We're all meant to share our knowledge. There's no right or wrong unless you're trying to say you're right or wrong. And especially when things come to facts, when we like, oh, that's not really how it went. The nigga, do we really know? Hell, we be finding out 20 years, 30 years later that some of Martin Luther King shit was really stolen by, well, not stolen, but taken from another nigga. We will literally find out that, like, oh no, this person really collabed with this person. Oh no, this person really used a quote from like 200 years prior to that. There is no originality in a sense. There's just innovation. There's just taking one thing and making it slightly different or slightly better than another thing. But we're all interchanging knowledge, we're all interchanging experiences, we're all sharing to evolve. There is no I own this, there is no this is mine. Egítcreationism can be whatever the hell it wants to be. It can change. It can be one way today, another way tomorrow. Because it's not fixed. Identity isn't fixed. We're not fixed, but we try to put ourselves in boxes. We try to make ourselves be one thing when literally we have been shown that we are not perfect. We are errors. Whatever word you say. See, however you say that word, it don't even matter. I know people who have degrees who are still dumb as hell. I know, but they're extremely good at one thing. Or they're super knowledgeable in one thing. What Eric about to say, knowledge is infinite and is infinitely felt on me. Bro, she was speaking word bond, bro. Knowledge is so vast, bro. There is no way of knowing just one thing. You can only know what you know and share that knowing, and then people add on to that knowing or contradict that knowing, because they're just going off of their experience. And I noticed that in art. When people be like, oh, when people don't agree with artists and people be trying to shit on people's art, bro, who cares? If one dude found that drawing a line across the paper meant something to him, oh well, so be it. If you don't like that, then don't look at it. You don't need to comment. That's just your ego, bro. That's your ego wanting validation and wanting to feel something. Me and my ego, I've been trying to build a healthy relationship with my ego, because you can't kill the ego. The ego is literally there to protect you. It's there to protect you. It's there to guard you. It's there to be the bridge between your pleasure and your reality. But it's good to have a healthy relationship with your ego. And my ego is to say that I don't really care about a lot of things, in the sense that I'm not trying to posture for the world. I just want to exist. I want to exist. I want to love. I want to be loved. I want to be free. I want to know freedom. I want to know what it really means to be free in humanity. To be free from trauma. To be free from the shackles of systems that tell you who you should and shouldn't be. Because honestly, they tell you those things so you can feel their needs. That's literally what consumerism is, to feel another person's need. When you buy that thing, or when you can overly consume and indulge in things, because you're supporting someone else while keeping yourself in comfort. I'm like, I want to evolve, but I want to evolve my way. I don't want to grind the grind culture. I don't want to work myself to death. I don't want the whole, if if I don't have 6 figures by tomorrow, then I'm a failure. Or I need to run 17 businesses. Could I? Hell yeah. But I'm not going to do it at the expense of my health, my mental, my own sense of self. Because at the end of the day, all you have at this is the grave, bro. So why live a life so stressful? Why live a life when you're just scrambling? And I get it, it's not always so easy, but at the same time, bro, you made the choices and the decisions that you made that landed you in the situation that you're in. You chose your baby father. You chose your baby mom. You can't be like, oh, I didn't know they was gonna do that. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. You just don't want to accept the fact that you did. You knew they was a piece of shit, and you still made the decision because you're trauma bonded, and you feel like they were. If you would have had that man baby, they would love you more. That's not how that shit works, guys. Sometimes you really gotta take responsibility for the choices and decisions that you played in your own suffering, because we perpetuate our own suffering. I think I said this before, but I'm gonna repeat a lot of things because I truly believe in it. Because I'm speaking from my own experience. I don't blame my ex for the shit that we went through. I paused on that because I'm like, it still gives you a little. But I understand that humans are humans, and humans gonna human. I knew we choose to ignore red flags. We choose to ignore people's behaviors because of our own attachment wounds, because of our own styles of thinking, and then we get upset when we see them do fucked up shit. And you just be like, well, I kind of knew they were capable of fucked up shit. I just chose to ignore it. And that's where self-responsibility comes into play. You feel me? Like, so maybe I shouldn't have done that. But you learn from it. And that's another thing. If you do go through it, learn from it. Learn from it, y'all. Because at the end of the day, if you don't learn from it, it's just going to keep happening over and over and over and over again until you get the memo. You will repeat a lesson until you get the memo. And it's either like you either going to get tired of that lesson, or you learn it the first time, and the one and done be so detrimental that you be like, never the fuck again. Some people need to experience lessons 2, 7 times, 17 times, because niggas will learn the same lesson. But when you learn that one and done, baby, that one and done set you up for life. I learned one time, one bad relationship, and I was like, oh, hell no. What do I need to do? What do I got to get going? Because this shit, ain't nobody finna be in their 30s still trying to blame other motherfuckers for my problems, bro. Ain't nobody talking about me. See, she hurt me. She hurt me. No, bro. Stopping this shit at the get-go. What the fuck do I got to do so I can be happy with myself? What Cheryl Pepsi Riley say from Tyler Perry? I'm happy with Jesus alone. He's all I need. Only that, I talk about myself. Because if you guys haven't noticed, I'm not a religious person. Hell, even with spirituality, I feel like spirituality still has its own shackles that try to place on people with the whole ascension thing and, keeping your vibration super high. Like, bro, you're going to have dips. It's life. You're going to ebb and flow. You're not going to always be able to optimize at high vibration all the time. Sometimes you need to dip a little bit so you can know what it feels like to be at that high again. It's balance. You need the flow. You need the flow with it. Some days I feel like shit still. Some days I feel energized and I can take on the world. And then other days I feel like I just want to lay here and just breathe. And all of that is okay. It's a part of the experience. I'm here to be human. I'm not here to ascend out of my body. I'm not here to eat myself until where I don't know pleasure. No. Bro, I'm here to know the good and the bad. If they poison in the food, oh fucking well. A burger's still gonna be a burger and still gonna hit. I'm still gonna die. If I eat a bunch of plants, I'm still going to die. Yes, I'm trying to make sure that I live a little bit longer, but it's not the end of the world. It's okay to be messy. It's okay to not be perfect in your healing. Healing isn't linear, bro. That shit's not linear. Sometimes I get mad still. Sometimes I get angry still. Sometimes I still hurt. I still cry. And I'm going to keep doing that. I'm going to keep having to process things and change and understand things from a higher perspective the older that I get. I'm only 21. I still got a whole bunch to go. When I realized, I'm like, bro, niggas felt like they went through a billion lifetimes, and I'm only 21. When most people just be like, oh, I had school, I went through this, that, and the third, and I'd be like, shh. Niggas felt like they went on side quest on side quest on side quest. I just feel like I'm just now getting to the main quest. And the main quest is myself. And loving who I am and rocking with me. And letting whoever vibe with me come along the journey. And if you fall off eventually, that's cool too. I still love you for the things that I learned and got to experience. Even if you hurt me. Because I know that I left gems with people. I know that I still was trying my best, even with the tools and the ways that I had my own shit at the time. Alright, this joint is reaching 40 minutes, guys. I'm about to finish this assignment. We're gonna post some more videos tomorrow. Stay tuned for episode 3. I kind of like this because I really just get to talk my shit and talk. Because I used to get in trouble for school a lot for that. I was a good kid, but I talked a fucking lot in school. And teachers used to be like, she's good, she has good grades, but she don't know how to shut her mouth. Now I don't have to. I don't remember them teachers' names. But now I don't have to shut my mouth. I can literally post this and let y'all deal with it. Wait. Alright, my golden hearts. I'll catch y'all later. I'm about to finish this joint. Probably go to bed. Like I said, girl is tired. And I still got class tomorrow. Yes, I be having Saturday classes. I think I'll wear a dress tomorrow. Look really cutesy. Oh, good night, Stitch. I guess Stitch said fuck y'all. Say no. Alright. Peace out, guys.